Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and right now I am playing the loading map on MX vs ATV Reflex. This is a map that I feel like has gotten a lot of playtime over the years, especially if you frequent MX vs ATV Reflex. This loading map comes up every single time before you're about to load into a new track, even for us PC players that can use the beta slots to have some custom tracks in-game. Doesn't really matter. We still get to play this loading map every single time. So if you ever played MX vs ATV Reflex, you're probably quite familiar with this loading map and what it feels like. It's classic. I still remember the very first time that I loaded up Reflex, and it was, you know, the demo version of the game, and I was just getting ready to play it. And even this little compound thing that we get, kind of blew my mind. It was like, we got a compound to play on, or a little free ride map like this to play on in MX vs ATV Untamed, and that also was very cool. But I feel like this one was just like a step further to show off that, you know, the night mode that this game has to offer, the free ride capabilities that we're about to find out. And namely, I feel like this map did the best thing of showing us right from the get-go how good the terrain deformation was going to be in this game, because I still remember like coming over to this little like kind of muddy area right here and just digging a hole in the ground with the terrain deformation. So very fun indeed. And obviously they included like little bits of like rhythm section and some, you know, finish line jumps and a couple other things to really just kind of make it tie together. It wasn't something that was going to be a map or a track that you spent all your time on or played a bunch, but it was still a lot of fun. So this is pretty cool, right? This is quite a bit of fun. Well, what's even cooler is that someone recreated it in MX Simulator. That is right. Palm189, also known as Zach Palm, recreated the Reflex loading map in MX Simulator, and I think he did a pretty good job of it. There's a couple things that I'll point out that I think are either wrong or different with the map, but overall, you know, aesthetically, this looks awesome. It definitely captures a lot of the vibe from the Reflex loading map. I feel like maybe the jump should be a little bit bigger, but you can still do some cool stuff on them. And then, yeah, I mean, like, it's pretty much an exact replica. Like I said, there's a couple things that I'll probably nitpick about it, you know, but this is what it was. This is the Supercross triple over here. This right here was literally where I was just spinning circles in the mud right here. You can't obviously, well, I don't have terrain deformation on, but even if I did, it wouldn't look as good as Reflex terrain deformation, at least in my opinion. Has a little rhythm section, has the finish line jump. But again, I just feel like everything's just built a little bit smaller than Reflex. I don't know if that was done on purpose. Over here, like, these whoops are only, there's like 4 or 5 whoops right there, when the Reflex version has like 10 or 11. So, you know, again, just kind of nitpicking. I'm not trying to, you know, say this is bad at all. I think this is rad that he decided to replicate this. He did add a couple other like extra features. Like, he has the outskirts of the map up here that, like right here, for example, he included a little spot where you can like do your own renders by riding up onto the stand and taking some cool pictures of your bike and gear. Like if I just park it right there, and then we went into free cam. This is, for those of you that have ever tried to do renders in MX Simulator, you know how difficult sometimes Blender can be. This is a way to also capture that same feeling without having to do a render. You could still get your bike up on a stand like this and do that. So I think that's really cool that Zach Palm himself elected to include that, so you guys could do some cool renders. That's not the only spot that he actually has one of these stands too. He also has one up here. If I go up to the top of the hill right here, there's one right here, so you could create another little cool render scene. And also he has this big old pad up here where you can pretty much select any stand that you want, or you could get 8 or 9 of your best friends together and all get everybody on a stand, so you all look like you're supposed to be part of a team. As we make it up the hill, let's see, we got a Gas, a Matrix Concepts one, a Honda one, Cowie, Husqvarna, Matrix, Yamaha, Husqvarna again, Honda, and Cowie. Man, Suzuki, no love for the Zook. But there's 10 more stands right here, so just a little extra. I mean, those are not a part of the map at all in the Reflex version. Obviously, there's a little bit of off-track stuff, but yeah, this is overall, this is really cool. What I'd be curious to know, and maybe Palm can comment on it, is how he was able to get some of the graphics for this to look like this. Did he literally lay all these graphics down and then choose certain areas that he was going to illuminate the graphics a little bit more? And and not because in MX Simulator lighting files are such that it doesn't like, you know, there is only one lighting source right now. So even though I just went past a pillar of light that should be shining light on my back, if you actually see when I turn around, there's more light that appears now on my back, which is from the direct lighting source, which is, I guess, in this case, the moon that's overhead, because if I were to go back to free cam, the moon is up there, so that would be the direct lighting source, or the area that he chose the lighting source for this particular one. So yeah, I'd be curious to know how he laid these decals and how he's able to get it to look so good as a replica, because like if you go overhead and look at the map from above, as you may have seen from the thumbnail already, it's kind of tough to tell which one is the different one. You know, this does look a lot like the Reflex loading map from overhead. It's very well designed, thought out. Every you know, section, he has, I feel like, the right amount of lights on it to mimic the feel of the Reflex maps. So very well done, Mr. Zach Palm. GG's, good sir. Go down and pop another little backflip right here. Get us over this little center hump. Oh, just a little bit short, but up to the top of the hill. But yeah, this is awesome. Like this is one of those things that just gets the nostalgia rolling again. Just feels like I'm, you know, back in high school playing MX's ATV Reflex every night and then loading up the loading map. And I always say this, and it's true, but I mean, I always like to bring this up. But you know, MX Sim is actually a year older than Reflex, so kind of crazy to think that way back when I didn't even know MX Sim really existed when I was grinding out Reflex, and found MX Sim a couple years later, and it pretty much changed my entire life / career. So that's pretty cool. But I always love these crossovers. We just did one pretty recently with Matt Rob 14's Fort Dodge 2 in MX Simulator that he recreated. So another little Reflex Sim crossover. I'm hoping to see some more of this. Like, I feel like people in bikes are starting to get the creative juices flowing a little bit. I know of another one in bikes that I will be doing very soon that I'm sure you guys will be excited to see. But I think everybody kind of already knows about that one in bikes, but I mean, I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't already seen it. So a cool crossover there. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to share this track with you guys today. It's not super in-depth. You know, it's not a massive compound or track or anything like that. It's literally just the Reflex loading map in MX Sim. But I still think that that's rad. I think that's awesome that Zach Palm chose to take the time to do this, to, you know, dedicate time to make the height map correct and put this map together. The lighting looks very impressive. I kind of forget actually if you can see anything beyond the outskirts of the map in Reflex. I do know that if you go too far to the edge of the map, it just resets you. Where in this game, like, I could go off the map straight ahead right here, and I'm just riding on thin air, but then I'll eventually go through the mountain, and then there's obviously some more mountains out here. Just kind of the way that sim maps work. You can add some extraneous stuff to the terrain on the outskirts, but the reality is the map is still the map, and that's all that exists. So yeah, very cool stuff. Thanks a bunch, Mr. Palm189, for creating this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little crossover video. Please be sure to head to the description below if you guys want to try out this replica map for yourself. And also go back and grind out Reflex every once in a while. I feel like I make Reflex videos and then people go, "Oh man, Reflex is so fun. I got to get back on that." Well, this is me telling you, yeah, get back on that, dude. Get back on Reflex. Load it up. Bust out the 360 again. Bust out the PS3. Rock some Reflex. Or if you have a PC now, get it on Steam. I don't actually think it's that much. I think it's only like maybe $14.99 right now, I think. Could be wrong. But it's a ton of fun. Still a lot of really cool stuff. And obviously if you're on PC, then you can add some cool stuff to your game as well to mod it a little bit. But Reflex is always fun every time I load it up. And it's always fun to talk about these little crossovers and relive the nostalgia a little bit. So again, thanks guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And I look forward to seeing you in all of our future videos on the channel. But I'm signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.